Without humanity's constant desire for knowledge, we wouldn't have medicine. We wouldn't have automobiles. We wouldn't have airplanes, hot pants, grilled cheese, or Netflix. But while most researchers understand their limits and know where to stop, there are others who do not. And when someone goes too far, there are consequences. Governments react, experiments go wrong, and in one case, the Earth may even crack in two. So, to find out why, let's take a look at a few dangerous minds involved in some astonishingly bizarre projects, the Men in Black. In July 2016, 32-year-old Gaurav Tiwari was found dead in the bathroom of his Indian home in mysterious circumstances. His relatives heard a loud thud, and when they discovered him, he was lying unconscious on the floor with ligature marks around his neck. The authorities claimed he had committed suicide, but the newlywed Mr. Tiwari was in high spirits, having recently gotten married, and there was no apparatus surrounding the body to suggest he had the means to take his own life. Jump forward 3 days, and we have another body on our hands, and this time it belongs to a British man called Spiers. Spiers died in Poland just days after vomiting up a bizarre black liquid. And while the authorities said his cause of death was natural, that doesn't sound all that natural to me. His mother certainly doesn't think so either, and she believes her son was murdered because of his profession. So, what did Spiers do, and what links these two men who lived a continent apart? Well, both Spiers and Gaurav Tiwari were researchers in the field of unidentified flying objects, and they are not the first, and likely not the last ufologists to die in mysterious circumstances. The idea that governments might assassinate paranormal researchers who get too close to the truth is a staple of science fiction, but could there be any truth to this claim? Even if you don't believe that Spiers and Tiwari were close to finding evidence of extraterrestrial visitations to Earth, it's certainly possible that they were on the brink of discovering something else. UFOs have long been accused of being no more than a cover-up for secret military weaponry, with their sightings used to distract people from the fact that your own government is flying experimental aircraft over your local towns and cities. Is this what Spiers and Tiwari discovered? Was the possession of military secrets what cost these men their lives? Spiers was known for making repeated claims that he was once part of a secret supersoldier project. And while most people would write this off as crazy guy talking gibberish, we know for a fact that governments around the world have experimented with bizarre ways to make their soldiers stronger. Imagine going back to the 1960s and exposing the CIA's mind control project MK-Ultra, which we now know to have definitely existed. Nobody's going to believe you, because when we hear about wacky conspiracies like this, we put more emphasis on the unlikelihood of it working rather than the more obvious scenario of a government attempting these experiments, failing, and not wanting anyone to know. The mysterious death and disappearance of researchers in these fields is sadly nothing new. As in the 1970s, Otto Binder compiled a list of at least 137 UFO investigators and paranormal researchers who had died in unexplained circumstances. And a new list of more recent deaths was compiled last year by Professor G. Cope Schellhorn. This recent update documents not only researchers' deaths, but also authors, alien contactees, and military personnel connected with a number of UFO-related incidents. And all of them died suddenly from either supposed suicides or unexplained causes. Of course, anyone with a healthy amount of skepticism will pour scorn on claims that these men and women were murdered to cover up the presence of aliens, but this doesn't mean that the deaths of these researchers are any less suspicious. So it looks like we need to consider one of two possible scenarios. Either that UFO researchers have a propensity for dying in peculiar circumstances, or that they've been murdered for getting too close to the truth. But what that truth consists of? Well, I don't think I want to find out, because it seems that once you go too deep into the conspiracy, there's a price on your head.